Hey my TRX people, welcome to my channel Connect and Move. My name is Jessica. Today I have for you a TRX flow with more of a focus on unilateral work and also doing work when the resistance or straps are coming from one side. So like the weight is offset, right? So a lot of side body work today. Again, a lot of like unilateral working one side at a time work. Which is really good because a lot of us are a little off, right? So things that you will need: TRX straps. They're gonna be shortened where the yellow tabs are up by your ring. You're gonna need a mat, or unless you're doing it on carpet, of course. And then at some point we'll be kneeling. So if doubling up the mat is not enough, right, go ahead and grab a pad. You can do this with shoes, without shoes, it's totally up to you. But once you have all of your things set up, let's get started. All right, we're gonna be starting facing the anchor point with your handles in each hand. You're gonna be about shoulder width distance apart and in parallel. Don't go for like a crazy turnout here, more parallel than anything, okay? My elbows are just in front of my ribs. I'm gonna pull down on the straps so they're nice and taut, and I'm gonna feel equal grounding down through my feet, meaning I'm not in my heels, I'm not in my toes, okay? So think of this tripod connection down through your feet, and then go ahead and just squat down, and then stand back up. So now's your time to find or to really keep that tripod connection down through your feet as we now move up and down. It's also your opportunity if you feel like you need to move forward or back. And just start to feel that connection to your lats or your side body, because we're not letting the shoulders really shrug up into the ears, right? They stay active even as we squat down. Let's do two. And last one. Now when you come up to standing, okay, so our legs are straight, we're upright. I want you to hike your left knee up and then add a little crunch, meaning I'm trying to bring my left hip to my left rib, and then I'm gonna place the foot down. I'm gonna squat down. I'm gonna stand up, right knee comes up, right hip to right rib. I'm doing a little side bend right now, and then take the foot down. All right, really find that crunch and push away of the floor. I want you to take these slow and controlled and be very intentional. I'm thinking about pushing the floor away with my tripod foot as that knee comes up. If you need more assistance with balance, you just scoot further away. And I'm starting to feel the side of my hip kick on a little bit more with each and every little crunch at the top. So let's do three. Keep that big toe connected as you crunch up. That's two. And last one. Awesome. So just come up to standing here, reach the arms out in front of you. I just want you to nod your chin, roll yourself out, find that long line, and if it feels good, maybe you find a little extension, bend the knees if you need, find that broad collarbone, and then on your next exhale, round through your spine and ribs, and just roll yourself all the way up. All right, go ahead and walk the feet a little bit closer together. In fact, all the way together. All 10 toes are pointing forward. So once again, arms are actively pulling down on those TRX straps. You're gonna step your left foot back, go into a lunge, and then step the foot back in. Right foot back, and in. So once again, try not to rush these. Each time you go back, make sure the hips are square. So I always like to take a quick peek. Is one hip lower than the other, right? We're trying to keep them level. And when that front knee bends, it bends right over the center of your foot. You go as low as you want. Let's do two. And last one, lunge back, whatever side you're on, doesn't matter, okay? Just relax the shoulders. If you had to let go of the straps, could you? But still keep your lunge right now. All right, so your front heel, I want you to lift it and lower it. We're gonna lift it and lower it. Think of those ribs steady lifting up off of your hips, and your inner thighs are at the party. You've got 3 and 2, and last one, place the foot down, step the other foot in, other side. Remember, check your arms, make sure we're not solely relying on them. We lift and lower. Now, when we do this lift and lower, the weight stays balanced across the balls of your feet. So that heel should be going straight up and straight down. You have 3 and 2, and last one, place it down, come all the way in, shake it out. All right, so we're gonna continue with the lunges, but now we're just gonna make it a curtsy lunge. So toes are facing forward. I'm gonna step my right leg back. I'm gonna think of like my right knee coming and tapping the floor just behind my left heel, and then step the foot back in. We're alternating. Left knee barely kisses that back heel, and then back in. If you can't go all the way down to the floor, no worries. Just think of the knee going in that direction. Now, what's challenging for a lot of people is the hips. They really want to twist and open. I want you to keep the hips square to the wall in front of you. So as the knee is kind of reaching around and down, think of that hip coming forward. And remember, we're still keeping that tripod connection down through your front foot. Now in these last few, if you want to hover that back leg, you're more than welcome. Try to keep those hips square though. Are we starting to feel things? I am. Let's do 3 and 2. And last one. Awesome, come all the way up, shake it out. So we're gonna start off with some bilateral rows, and then we'll quickly go into one arm rows. So starting with your legs slightly apart, maybe shoulder width distance. Elbows are tucked into your sides, wrap the fingers around, and then let the arms go straight, and then row yourself up. And you know, walk your feet in if you wanna make things a little bit more challenging. And just because we're working the upper body does not mean that the rest of our body is not at the party. My hips are expressed up to that anchor point. My core is working hard to hold my body in this plank spine. So let's do 3 and 2. And last one. Let the arms go straight. Walk your feet back just a smidge, okay? Row yourself up, let your left handle go, all right? So from here, I don't care what you do with your left arm, all right? My right hand is firmly grabbing around that right handle. I'm gonna let my right arm go straight and then row yourself up. So here's where the closer your legs are together, the harder it's gonna be. The wider, right, the more assistance. And what I want you guys to really work on is not letting yourself twist. We'll get to that soon. And you might even feel like one side of your stomach's working harder, one leg is working harder to really offset that want to twist. Let's do 3. Find that pinky wrapping around. And 2. And last one, go ahead and switch hands right into the other side. Every side is different. This already feels way easier for me. Something else that you could do, I didn't mention on the other side, is you could be rocking back and forth on your heels. That does play around with that kind of a less base of support, if you will. And when you're going for that row, that elbow is reaching down past your hip and then back. And that should keep the sides of your neck nice and long. Let's do 3 and 2 and last one. All right, we're gonna switch hands again. All right, so now when we let that right arm go straight, I want you to squat down, reach your left hand back behind you. Maybe you touch the floor. And then as you stand up, you're gonna roll yourself up. Reach your left arm to that anchor point. All right, we lower down, tap the floor if you can, and then roll yourself up. So we're doing this with a little bit more energy, maybe a little momentum, that's okay. All right, we've done the controlled first. So hopefully we fired up and activated what we need to activate. Imagine those muscles just below your shoulder blades, right? They are at the party big time. We have 3 and 2. Last one, go right into the other side. Twist back and then reach up. So there is a little bit of a twist at the top, just a little bit, just to really get into those back muscles. How you doing? Firm grip around that handle. All fingers are at the party right now. Let's do 3 and 2 and last one. Awesome. Go ahead and grab onto both handles. Let the arms go straight. Feet kind of wide. And now let your hips sit back. Let your chest fall through your arms. Bend your right knee so your upper body naturally twists to the left. And now we switch sides. Left knee bends, right leg goes straight. Upper body twists to the right, should feel really good. And then back to center. One more time each side. Push into that big toe on your left side here. And then back to center, over to the other side. And then back to center. And then from tail to crown, just roll yourself all the way up. Alrighty, so straighten your arms out in front of you. So when your arms are straight, your hands are in line with kind of like a high belly button. So I'm gonna push down into those handles, right? So that should fire up the back of the arms, should fire up kind of the lats in the armpit area. And then I just want you to bring your right knee up into your chest or like into a tabletop position and hold here. Just find balance. Think pushing the floor away. So kind of like how we did earlier, only now we're not doing like a crunch on the hip. And then place the foot down. Left knee comes up into that tabletop position. Keep pushing the floor away and then back down, right? So just a little bit of a marching action. And I'm pushing those handles down, but also wide. So my chest stays open. We've got 3 and 2 and 1. Now everybody bring your right knee up into your chest, all right? I'm gonna keep my back flat as I can keep it. I'm gonna hinge forward, my right leg is gonna shoot back behind me, and then hold here, find balance. A lot of times here, that right hip really wants to open up. I want you to drop it down to where it's in line with your other hip. Hips are parallel to the floor. And now hinge at the hip, bring your right knee up into your chest. I'm gonna hinge forward, right leg reaches back, pause here. If there's a soft bend to your standing leg, to that standing knee, that's okay. Keep it, right? Don't let it switch or don't let it shimmy around as you come back up. Right leg reaches back. Those left toes are pointing forward. They are parallel. So it is a hinge at the hip, and that's why we're trying to keep that knee super stable. Now go for that forward hinge. Hold here, relax the neck, right? Now I want you to open up that top hip. Open it up. And now as it comes down, I want you to roll the hip into that left inner thigh. And then roll it open. Think of trying to stack your right hip over your left hip. And then roll it in, like it's just gonna kiss your inner thigh. And then roll it back out. We have 3. Slow and easy, keep that back leg straight, it's active. 1 more here. Roll that hip into your inner thigh. Find square, find center. Bring the knee up, place the foot down. All right, other side. Left knee into your chest. Shoot the leg back. Find balance. Whatever angle of the knee, right, find it and keep it. And now bring the knee up. Take the leg back. Pause here once again. Maybe if you can, check your hips. See that they're square to the floor. And then back up. And when I say square to the floor, it doesn't mean that your body needs to be parallel to the floor. It just means the hips aren't twisted. And you're, of course, right, here's that word tripod again, trying to keep that tripod connection down through that right foot, as wobbly as it may be. Trying not to let that knee shift around. Arms are active, they're pressing down. Now I want you to hold the leg back there. Find stability. Open up that hip. Think of stacking it up. And then roll the hip in, kiss your inner thigh. Push the floor away to roll that top hip open. And then roll the hip in. Should be feeling things somewhere in your hip. If you're feeling this in your low back at all, think of lifting the base of your ribs up away from the floor. I don't care how high the back leg is. I care more about the movement in your hips right now. Push the floor away. 2 more here, y'all. Check your neck, check your shoulders. Ooh, even that calf is working. Last one here. Square the hips off. Bring the knee into the chest. Place the foot down. Quick break, quick figure 4 stretch. Take an ankle over the knee. Go ahead and squat down, holding onto those handles. A lot of people, right, I see leaning back. I see hinging forward. It's wherever you get the deepest, best stretch. And then go ahead and stand up, foot goes down. Squat down. Breathe into that tight place. All right, and then stand it back up. Okay, so we're gonna lengthen the straps now. Let's bring them down to where the handles are about mid-shin. So when they're hanging down from whatever anchor point you have, they're about mid-shin. So now we're gonna face away from the anchor point, handle in each hand. All right, so I'm only standing offset of my mat so you guys can see me. I'm gonna bring the legs together, but in parallel. So all 10 toes are pointing forward here. I'm at the top of kind of my push-up or my plank. I'm gonna feel that my tailbone is lengthening down to my heels and my pubic bone is going forward. There's a strong punch out through my fists, so my upper back feels a little bit more open. All right, so just from here, keeping all those 1,000 things I just gave you, I just want you to lift the heels up and then lower the heels back down. Lift the heels up and then lower them back down. If you can, try to spread those toes as wide as you can. And even though the heels may not be touching because we're in parallel, think of there being magnetic energy there. So they're not winging out to the side when we lift. So let's do 2. Last one, keep the heels super high and stable. Arms stay straight. Slide the arms away for your long stretch and then pull the arms back in. So can you keep the sides of your neck long as the arms glide away and then pull back in? So we're just trying to keep a broad collarbone. Arms might have to go a little bit wider than shoulder width distance apart, and that is okay. Last one here, and then pull back in. Now, make sure that you are in line with your anchor point, meaning you're not off to the right or to the left, okay? I'm gonna float my right leg up and just pause here and find balance. All right, that's it. And then place the right foot down. My left leg is gonna hover. Here's my tough spot here. Can you stay square? Can you keep punching out through the fists? And then lower the foot down. All right, right leg lifts up. Now hold here. Left heel, lower it down, and then lift it up. Lower it down, and lift it up. The longer you think about getting here, the easier this is gonna be. But if you need, you can always place your foot down, but think of it as more of like an assistance or like a kickstand. So right now I'm on my right big toe. Whew. Last one, place the right foot down. Left leg reaches behind you. Find balance first, find squareness as best you can. Lower your right heel down and then lift it up. Right heel down and lift it up. Keep your tailbone reaching long. Keep your pubic bone kind of going forward, but also lifting up to your navel. All right, 2. And last one, place the left foot back down again. Float your right leg back up, all right? Could you now send the arms away, find your long stretch again, and then pull the arms back in. Squeeze your inner thighs together. One heel is lifted, the other toes are reaching back. Inhale away. Exhale, pull back in. Right toes down. Left toes are lifted. Ooh, find balance. Keep growing tall, 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 tall. Reach the arms away and then pull them back in. Right heels just stay super high. Inhale out. Exhale, pull them back in. Squeeze your inner thighs. Think of creating space between ribs and hips, y'all. We have 2. And last one. Awesome. Place the toes down. Shake it out. In fact, walk your feet back a little bit. Heels are down and in parallel. I want you to now drive your hips forward to the point where it's a struggle to keep the heels down. And now bend your left knee, left heel can lift. Let's get a stretch there. And then switch, almost like a little prance. And then switch. So get a stretch in the back of your calf muscle. We just work the heck out of it. And then down. Let's do 3 and 2 and 1. Awesome. Now I want you to take the handles, or sorry, the straps underneath your arms, right? So underneath the arms. I'm gonna bring my right foot forward, left foot comes back. So I'm kind of in this runner's position. So I'm gonna pitch forward. My back is relatively flat here. My right heel is lifted. All right, from here, I'm gonna shift weight into my front leg, drive my left knee up into the chest, and then place it back down. Drive the knee up, place it back down. Arms are at the party here, right? They're supporting you. Find your inner thighs. Your runner out of the gate. Let's do 3 and 2. Last one. Step it back. Awesome. Switch sides. Shake it out. Left heel is lifted. Make sure those toes are spread, y'all. All right? Toes are pointing forward. Come down into your lunge. Think of your left hip spiraling back, right hip going forward, right? So I'm not like this. I am square to the mat in front of me. Drive the right knee up, find balance, and then place it down. Check your neck, check your shoulders. Pause for just a second at the top so you can find that balance. For 3, and 2, and the last one, step it back. Awesome work. All right, reach the arms up overhead, and now just kind of hang on the straps. So I'm just kind of sticking my booty out behind me, chest is going forward, and now add a little side bend to this. And then wave the arms up and over to the other side. And now everybody go over to the right. Let your right knee bend. Think of that left arm growing a little bit longer. And then back to center, up and over to the other side. Breathe down that whole right side and then back to center. Awesome work. So I'm gonna let go of a strap. Doesn't matter which one, I'm just gonna let go of it. So taking a little break from the legs, or focus on the legs. I have the strap in my right hand, so my left side is facing towards my anchor point. I'm gonna take that arm up overhead. I'm gonna start with my hand, not directly over the center of my body. It's gonna go more over my left ear. My right elbow, lots of lefts and right here. My right elbow is in my peripheral. It's not directly in line with my body, okay? My left foot is forward, my right foot is back. So I'm gonna split stance. I know I said we're gonna take a break from the legs, but they are still very much at the party. The inner thighs are active, okay? So let's just start by letting your hips kind of dip away from the anchor point and then just pull them back in, okay? So we'll just do one more like this and then pull back in, okay? Tailbone is long, okay? Neck is long. Now when we let the hips dip out, I want you to let your hand reach towards the anchor point, meaning my bicep is coming closer to my right ear, and then use your shoulder girdle to pull yourself back up, hips come back in line, right? So hips dip out, we control it, bicep comes to the ear if it's available, and then you pull yourself back up, right? So if you've ever done work on the reformer, advanced work, this is kind of simulating that kneeling arm work from the side. You want to make things easier, you walk your feet further away from that anchor point. We only have a couple more here. Ooh, I can feel that shoulder. Last one, and then come back up. Now I'm gonna take my right hand, so my palm is facing into the handle, okay? I'm gonna scoot closer in, because I'm gonna come more at kind of a 90-degree angle with this arm. I still have a staggered stance. We're basically gonna do a tricep press from the side, all right? So I'm gonna let that hand come in towards my head, and then I'm gonna press the arm out. You can already tell I need to readjust. Hand comes in towards my temple, and then press back out. It doesn't have to be a big range here. We are still keeping the neck long and that right armpit drawing down towards your hip. Legs are squeezing together. They are solid like oak trees right now. And then back out. Tiny but mighty. We only have 3 more. Oh yeah. Even feeling my right hip try to stabilize things because it wants to fall out. Last one. And back out. All right, other side. So now my right foot is forward, left foot is back. And something I didn't mention on the other side, you can take your right hand, kind of like how we do with the rope on the reformer if you need assistance. You can take it and assist, right? So get in your start position. Right? Let's just do a couple test runs. So just let the hips dip out for a second and then pull them back in. So think of this as just like an oblique kind of crunch or dip, all right? Now let the hips go out, let that bicep come closer to the ear. And here's where if you need assistance, you can just grab onto that tape, not tape, but the TRX strap, and just help you in, all right? Finds that sweet spot. Because I know there's like a point where it's super easy and then a point where it's like, oh, how am I getting out of this one? Make sure that left elbow is still in your peripheral. And just like when we do any other side bends or lateral flexion, think of moving between those two panes of glass. A few more here. Really make them count. Two more here, y'all. I can feel that sweat dribbling down my back. Last one. And pull yourself up. Alrighty, left hand on. Oh, this arm's a little shaky. Woo. Alrighty, so we start in kind of that 90-degree bend. Again, tailbone is long, and now we bend that elbow or hand comes closer to your head and then back out. I'm just wrapping my hand around my waist to keep me from twisting, because that's what I really want to do. Keep drawing that shoulder down away from your ear, y'all. And just keep reminding yourself, this does not have to be big. You see, I'm not going full range. Think of trying to create as much space between ear and shoulder as you possibly can. Let's do two. Hoo, hoo, hoo. And last one. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, so we're gonna keep the straps at this length, and now we're gonna come down to the mat. So when you're kneeling here, we're gonna be using, or we're gonna place your right hand into both handles. So when we're here, I want the right side of your body in line with your anchor point, okay? So take your left hand down to the floor. So you're in this somewhat of a quadruped position. So my knees and shins are hip socket distance apart. Left hand is underneath the shoulder, okay? Take it wider if you need. So I want you to push down through your shins. If at any point you need to tuck your toes under, I get it, right? But think of equal push down through the legs. Try to find length out through the crown of your head and back through your tailbone. So think of trying to create space in your body. Push the floor away and the handles down. And now just row your right elbow out to the side and then straighten the arm out. That's it. Now, if you are not putting crazy pressure and tension into those straps, this is gonna feel really easy. It's gonna feel like, what are we doing? So it's almost as if we were trying to get all of our weight over into the handles. So maybe our left hand could float up. Not yet, not yet. We'll play with it in a second. Hips are right over your knees, ribs are lifted up into your back. All right, now right arm reaches straight. Can you reach your left arm back behind you and hold here? All right, just find balance, find squareness in your body. And now as your right elbow rolls out to the side, left knee comes into your chest, let your spine round a little bit. And then arm and leg reaches out long. Knee comes in, elbow goes out, let your head drop, round, and then back out. When the elbow bends, think of it reaching across the ends of the room. Last one here. All right, so arm and leg are straight here, okay? We're gonna add a little bit of a side bend to the body. So reach your right arm out to the side as your left leg goes out to the side. So right arm goes out to the right, left leg goes out to the left. Now as the right arm crosses the center line, the left leg is gonna cross. And now let your gaze go to the right a little bit. And then we do the other direction. So So a little bit of side bend, maybe a little bit of a twist. And if you'd like, maybe you draw like a little rainbow with that leg. And it's like you're following that leg with your gaze. Start and feel that right hip a little bit and that left shoulder. Let's do 2. And last one. Awesome, go ahead and find center and just place the knee down and just take a quick moment here. Okay, so I want you to send your leg back out behind you. Right arm is straight. I'm gonna pitch forward a little bit or just kind of lean forward. Let my left hip open a little bit, so find that airplane again, and then lower the hip back down, and then just square myself off, right? I'm gonna lean forward, so my right arm's reaching forward, left hip opens up, and then back to square, right? So I'm reaching forward, push the floor away with your left arm, and then back to center. Last one like this. And then back to center. Awesome, lower the knee down. All right, let's do the other side. So make sure that your left side is in line with your anchor point. Alrighty, push down through your shins or your feet here. Left arm shoots out long and then row it out to the side. So when that left elbow goes out, I don't want your chest lifting. It stays down looking at the floor. If you need more stability, you scoot further away. You want less stability, or you want to make things harder, you scoot closer. Remember, we are trying to create space in between the vertebrae here. So again, head to tail length. Last row here. Send that arm straight out in front of you. Right leg goes out. Pause, find balance. And now both elbow and knee row in, push into the handles in the floor, and then straighten everything back out. Push the floor away, and then back out. Lift the ribs off that thigh as it comes into your chest, and back out. We have 2. And the last one. Both arm and leg are straight. All right, right leg goes out to the side. Left hand goes out to the side. Maybe you turn and look at that right foot. And then we cross the midline of the body. Look back at that shoulder or left foot, or sorry, right foot. And then back around. You don't have to tap the floor. That's just where my leg is going. In fact, as it goes out to the right, I'm not quite tapping the floor. As it goes out to the left, it is tapping. Think of that right leg reaching across the room. So it's getting longer with each and every sweep. Let's do 2. Starting to feel that left hip. And the last one. Okay, let's just go right into this time. So both arm and leg are straight. I want you to lean forward a little bit and then open up that top hip. So there is a little bit of rotation here, and then square yourself off. Again, kind of reach forward, almost like you're being pulled into 2 different directions, and then back to square. Again, reach across the room and back to center. Oh, I'm getting a really nice lat stretch on this side. Reach, 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 and back to center. 2 more here. Think of that right hip going right over that left hip and back to center. Last one. Reach, 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 and back to center. Awesome work. So just take the handles in your hands for a second And just let the chest fall through the arms and just lean forward here. All right, go ahead and stack it back up. Now, we're gonna turn around. I'm gonna place my left foot into the cradles. Left foot in, okay. So we're gonna do side planking a couple different ways today, all right? So at any point, you need to come down to your forearm, come up to your hand, or you wanna take your foot out, totally up to you, okay? Please, please, please honor your body. So right now, I'm just gonna take my hands underneath my shoulders. Make sure that you're not gonna kick the door if you have a door mount. All right, so I'm gonna push the floor away. I'm gonna step my foot back, or both feet back, sorry, and find plank. And I'm just gonna hold strong here. Think of there being equal weight into both legs right now. Now, we're gonna rock forward and back on those right toes. So we did this earlier, only gravity is not our friend here. And I want you to try to get to the point where you can roll up onto your big toe without breaking it. We have 3. Keep lifting the sternum up, and 2. And last one, place the knees back down. Okay, now we're gonna get into that side plank. So I'm gonna take my right hand and place it a little bit more centered with my body or with my mat. Feel free to pivot and play around with that. So I'm gonna step both feet back. From here, I'm gonna pivot on my right foot. All right, take my left hand off the floor and hold. I'm thinking of squeezing my legs together even though they may not be together, okay? Now I'm gonna pivot, hands come down to the floor, hold here. I'm gonna pivot again. Push the floor away. Now, bring your left knee into your chest, left elbow to left knee. Arm reaches out, again. We crunch, push the floor away, and back out. Crunch, and away. We have 5 more. 5, and 4. Get that strap nice and tight. 3, and 2. Last one. Square your body to the floor and then place the knees down. Awesome work. Did I lose a strap? I did not. So now we're gonna keep this foot in this strap, in these straps. And now we're gonna do the other side. Okay, so a little bit different. I'm gonna cue you to place your right foot into these triangles. Okay, so when I say triangles, that's where it's gonna go, just above the handles. All right, let's do it. We're gonna get right into it. So I'm gonna come down to my elbow or my forearm. I'm gonna turn over onto my side. I'm gonna place that right foot up on the handles. If it's available, right arm comes up to the ceiling. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Pull both knees in and press back out. Pull both knees in and press back out. Keep pushing the floor away like crazy, y'all. Keep trying to lift the hips up into gravity. Take the hand down if you need. We have 3, and 2, and the last one. Take the foot out or just take the knees down. Nice work. All right, let's do the other side. Woo. All right. So remember, before we do all these side planks, we just got to do that little rocking back and forth. All right, let's do this. Either elbows or hands down. Try to do the same thing you did on the other side with the arm position. You're not going to kick the door. Step the feet back behind you. Pause here. Just find that long line. Keep lifting up through the upper abdominals. And now we rock forward and rock back. Rock forward and rock back. Feel like your upper body is what's pulling you forward. It's not momentum. It's not your legs. It's your armpits. For 4, and 3, and 2, And the last one, place the knees down. Ooh, that was all up in my stomach. Okay. So now we got to do that elbow to crunch. We're going to go over one time. We're going to do a test run, come back, and then we do that crunch. All right, so let's do it. Left hand is a little bit more centered in line or in the mat there. Step the legs back. Pivot on that left foot, or really both feet. Find your side plank. Hold. See where you need to be. Take the hand down. Square yourself off. Again. We pivot. Strong bottom leg. Knee comes in. We crunch and back out. Feel like you're dragging that right foot through sand. Dig it down and out. Push the floor away, y'all. Create space in that upper back. For 3 and 2 and the last one. Pivot, come down. Well, I can tell you what side's my weaker side. All right, other side, let's do it. Foot in the triangle. We got this. Step both feet back. Pivot. Use your top hand if you need. Foot goes into the triangle. Bring the knees in and back out. I know what I did. You guys keep moving. I came down to my forearm. I was like, why is this so hard? Really push the floor away, y'all. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Hello, obliques. Hello, inner thighs. For 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Place the knees down. Oh yeah, that was good. Good, good, good. So to end, seated, my left side is facing the anchor point right now. So I'm in a Z-sit position. All right, right hand down on the mat or on the floor, left hand in both handles. I'm gonna reach my left arm around. I'm gonna drive my hips up. I'm gonna look down at that right hand, arm sweeps around and back around. Right arm comes up and over. Think both hips trying to stay down. And then come up. Hips will obviously lift up. Push into that handle. Maybe bend your bottom elbow if you need a deeper stretch. And then hips come down. Right arm comes up and over. Last one here. Give your left butt cheek a good squeeze here with the hips lifted. And then back around. Counter stretch here. In fact, take your right hand and grab onto the straps. Now try to straighten your bottom arm. And then when you're here, add in a little bit of a twist. So just a little bit of spiraling of your ribs. For 2. And last one. Awesome. Let's do the other side. And I realize I didn't tell you how far away to be. The further away, it's gonna require more shoulder mobility. The closer, less shoulder mobility, still get a good stretch. So just to figure out where you need to be to get a good stretch, but also feel supported. So left hand is down, right hand stays pressing into the handles there. Right arm sweeps around, hips go forward. Left arm comes up and over. When you do this counter stretch, think of that left knee pushing the mat away, or down rather. Hand comes down, right arm reaches up and over. So adding a little bit of extension here. All right, I want you to grab onto those handles. I want your palm to be facing the wall in front of you. Let's do it that today. Try to straighten your bottom arm. So I'm pushing the handles away with my right hand, but I'm gently pulling with my left to deepen that stretch. And now I want you to do that little spiraling action, trying to keep your hips stable and grounded. Last one here. Awesome. You are done today. I really hope you enjoyed that. I know that I don't give myself enough of that unilateral side body work, so this was definitely needed. Very humbling. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you again. Thanks, y'all.